down south.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I drove.
Hey, dude.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hi.
Good.
It's going.
Oh, yeah, pretty good. Just chilling at home.
Basically. Yeah.
Nice to see all those faces. I like your mug. That's sweet.
Thank you. Thrifted it. Yeah. Are you talking about my mug or Sophia's?
Definitely. There's
Sophia.
Sophia's yet.
Okay. Sophia has a cute.
You guys hanging together? Everything holding it together?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're fine.
Yeah. It's a lot uncertain right now, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like it's keep cycling between panic, shock, and all right, this is fine.
Basically, yeah.
Constantly. I don't know. I don't think I've cried this much in a long time.
Well, that's healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm finding it hard to focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, I have things to do and there's no reason for me to be bored, but I find myself just kind of laying in bed being like, okay, not really sure what to do with myself right now, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. That's that lack of focus for me is I know I should be doing something, but I'm not quite sure what it should be,
Mm-hmm.
I'm still working away at Booksmith and it's very unclear, what they want me to do and what, hey, Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina.
Hello.
Hi.
Let's see if everything's okay. We're working. Sick.
Nice to see your face. Cool. How's it going?
It's going all right. How are you all? Enjoying the apocalypse?
Yes.
It literally feels like the world is ending, but
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna stop that right there.
But none of that energy. Valid. Okay.
Yeah.
Stop that right there. Right.
Dang. I'm gonna try and find my headphones real quick. I'll be right back, you guys.
So day 3 of quarantine.
What's that? Where are you at, Sabrina?
Oh, I'm back home with my parents. We live in Paso Robles, California. So
okay, yeah, because I think California's on lockdown too, right now. They're doing shelter in place. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got the order yesterday at some point.
Yeah, we got the order yesterday.
Yeah.
San Francisco is so weird. It's so empty.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Do you think that they're gonna lock down by county?
I think so. I think my county was talking about how they're gonna start enforcing more essential lockdowns, like the grocery stores are gonna go on pause and stuff like that, which is scary.
Yeah.
Apparently the military needs to come in soon, which makes me not.
Yeah, it feels like the purge.
I don't know. I mean, Gavin Newsom said, Gavin Newsom said that if they have to implement martial law, they will. But I don't. Well, it seems like everybody's complying out here for sure.
I don't think at this point it's going to be a point of being compliant. I think what's going to happen is that the military are the only people who know how to deal with the amount of crisis that we're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
Because our medical system's going to be so impacted.
Yeah.
People just panic and people freak out. The military are people trained not to freak out in battles.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Not freak out.
They also encourage people to stay in their place,
that's true.
Because there's nothing really stopping people from going out and being in the streets right now.
Yeah.
A little bit of military presence can put the fear of God into you.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I mean, my thing, it's I just wonder after all of this is done, will the military go away very quickly?
It's a real concern. Yeah. Well, thanks for logging in today. It's nice to see all your faces, first of all. And I don't have an agenda at all about what to do. I just wanted to kind of touch base and see, the question I'm asking the board right now is what can we do right now? that fulfills our mission, that is valuable for the community. And we're trying to decide what we're going to do about our May show. It's not going to happen as it normally would. Obviously, it'll probably look more like this than it will be. If you have any thoughts about that, I mean, submissions are open, and we have 30 submissions already, which is kind of a lot for this early, which is interesting. I haven't updated that page yet. It all says, that it'll take place in a venue. Obviously it won't. We're still going to pay people as we normally would. And I don't think there will be a book though, other than a digital one, just because I don't think the printer is open. I'm going to go by today actually and see if they're open. Don't tell the governor. This is an essential service for me anyways. Yeah. So we'll see. But questions are like, what, I've been working with a group of people who are trying to help raise money for local bookstores, because this is probably going to last for a while. And you guys may have seen, like, Dog-Eared has an Indiegogo up right now. They're raising money. They're trying to raise $50,000 to pay for like their rent for the next 3 or 4 months, and their staff. For instance, Booksmith fired everybody who's not a manager, mostly so that they could get unemployment. They're like, we're going to hire you guys back as soon as we're operating again, but we have no idea when that's going to be, and all bookstores are in that situation right now. So I saw even yesterday an article that scared me about Powell's Books in Portland. They apparently have like 500 employees, which is ridiculous. Yeah. And you guys saw that?
No, I lived in Portland for a little while, and
totally. Well, yeah, they're in danger of closing like forever. I mean, these places aren't super flush. I got it.
Portland will keep Powell's open.
Well, you'd hope so. It's certainly within their best interest too. Yeah. You're seeing this stimulus plan that's in the works right now from the federal government. And
okay, but how can we pay for that? Are they actually going to tax people enough? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I think there's different ideas about how that will happen. That I'm not worried about. Although what I am worried about is the new kind of caveat they put in that the extent to which the government assists small businesses, there's a possibility that they will then have that much stake in the business, which means that it will be partially government owned, which, if I'm that small business owner, obviously I'm going to do everything I can to not have to take that money. But what are you going to do to make the money right now when your store isn't open, for instance? So just as like background, like Booksmith, we started shipping free locally, so people could still order online and by phone. And so it's a full-time job right now. There's one person in the store fulfilling mail orders all day long. We're selling a lot of books online, a lot more than we usually do, but that's just, it's not as much business as we would otherwise have, obviously, and all of our events and our event money. Sophia, do you have a little furry friend with you? I think I see a dog.
Yeah. I have 2 actually.
Nice. Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah.
Turkey. This one's deaf, so she can't hear when I call. She's 17.
Oh my goodness, what a cutie. Sorry, I got derailed. What was I saying? Cute dogs. Online orders. Yeah. So I'm working with this group who is putting together live streams. We're asking local, not even just local authors whose book tours have been canceled as a result of this, who have new books, and just other people who are trying to support bookstores in the Bay Area, and we're putting together live streams with like well-known authors, and it's like pay what you can kind of thing. So the idea is that that money will go to a revolving, like we'll break it up somehow. We don't really know how that's going to work yet. So that's one thing that I'm kind of working with. We're also, like I posted the GoFundMe campaigns on Litsin. There's a page like, hey, these stores are asking for help, so I think that's one way Quiet Lightning and Litsin can kind of help people right now. I don't know if you guys see other things, like we can post them on Litsin. I don't know how much impact that has, but we could go on social and be like, hey, we're starting a resource for local businesses, or this kind of thing. I don't know. I know some other folks are doing like live stream events already. Nomadic Press has an open mic tonight. That is a virtual open mic that should be kind of wild.
That's awesome. Wait, I might
It's really cool.
Yeah, there's a sign up link.
Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I think like ultimately it's just like we need to be able to foster some sort of normalcy for people too. Like I think definitely doing resources, but like something where people can just like enjoy literature.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if like we go into our archives and like post like a story or like highlight a poem every day or like something like that,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like just get like this is a guarantee, like you don't have to think about the virus, and then also like here is something like that you can do to help, because I feel like what everybody's doing is I'm trapped in my house getting constant media like propaganda,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't do anything about it. So it's like you need to like let people feel like they have some sort of like not just stake, but like they can get relief and they can help people, because people want to help people right now. I think like that's the thing that everybody's scared and like panicking about, is like they can't do anything. They have no sense of control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think to that end, some kind of regular programming makes sense, whether it's like, hey, every Wednesday afternoon at such and such a time, we're gonna broadcast something, on our channel. I know I saw this morning that LitHub is launching essentially like a TV channel on their Zoom, where they have regular programming. They're working with like Electric Literature and The Believer, and they're printing like an old school kind of TV guide of their programming, where they're having readings.
So rad.
Really cool. That's something that I've been talking with Camden and Kristen about doing at Booksmith. So we may start an online events program. And if we do, it's possible that we'll be working with local organizations. Like for instance, Quiet Lightning would have a regular, say, hour a week or 30 minutes a week. And we would reach out to other folks that we admire and invite them to curate their own time as well. So I think that could be helpful. Something that you could tune into, a kind of virtual place to go. I do think that's important. I think a lot of people are starting to do that now. I know Manny's is setting up this insane series of civic conversations. They're trying to put together 4 30-minute talks every day, every weekday, starting very soon. May already be starting, I don't know.
So we can run Litsin as usual, but just virtual Litsin.
Right, and so there are live events, virtual events I'm starting to see, and so we can start posting those. I don't know what the best way to do it is, because obviously going through the readings page and loading them in that way is not going to really work right now, I don't think. So it may be that what I'm thinking is maybe I can create like a Google Doc, and anytime we see a new virtual event, if you have the time at that moment, obviously you can just load it in as a new event. But if not, like I think what I'm doing, I'll just start pasting in the links, and then if you can load it in, just put your initials next to it once it's done, and that way we'll know we don't need to load it in. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
And probably most of the events for now say something like live stream or virtual event, so it's obvious that that's real. I was starting to cancel all of the events as they started getting canceled last week, and then of course it was like everything's canceled. So I just made that post that said basically everything's canceled. Check in with the source. But there should be some way for people to know that, hey, this is actually still happening. It's a virtual event that's obvious from the calendar. I don't know what that looks like. Maybe we just start.
Maybe we could do like a little like a little like thing to put on it, or like a check mark or something like that.
Yeah, maybe we could put a little emoji or something in the beginning of each subject, like the same one, whether it's a microphone or
like a little video camera, like
Yeah.
something like that. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go have a little bit more coffee.
Yeah, I think maybe a little video camera. I'll create one first when we get off, and I'll send the doc and the link to you guys so you see what you could just kind of paste that in. If that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know what else we could do except kind of on social kind of mirror our efforts and say, hey, this is what we're doing. You know, I don't want to lean. I'm not leaning hard on the Patreon right now. I think it's like there's a lot of other things that people need to worry about. Housing, obviously, a lot of people we're losing our jobs, and so it's not something that I want to be posting about exclusively. You know, I do want to keep the link in when we post things. You know, like not necessarily like all of our social posts, but you know, when I do this post for the bookstore, it's like, hey, if you have some cash to kick in, like this is obviously a volunteer effort, you know. So I don't want to forget it entirely, but I'm not like, we don't need to make Patreon posts in short right now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So any thoughts on what else we can be doing?
So at least I think, I don't know, I could do it, or Sophia and I could do it, but I think we should make a post on Instagram basically saying that like, oh, we're still promoting these live events, like stay tuned, I guess, something like that.
Totally.
Just to give a shout out. And then,
and maybe even if you have a live event or you're doing virtual readings, let us know and we'll post it.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
We're trying to collect it all into one place. So send them to us, comment here, or maybe comment here is the best way to do it.
Okay.
And we'll make sure they're listed.
Also, another thing that I've been doing is if I see any like resources, like a number for Spectrum that will give students like internet access, or like places where you can go to pick up food for kids, I've been posting it on the story of Quiet Lightning and then saving it underneath a highlight, so that those resources stay up there for people to come back to and like grab.
That's great.
Awesome. Thank you, Sophia.
So if you have any like things that you know that you've seen that you feel like it's important, and you like want to put it up there, I feel like that's also good, because like one of my things is like you got to spread the resources like as much as possible. So maybe like a couple of like, if you know of any like resources and stuff like that, for people to send them our way too, because like if we can boost any type of help that people would need, like I know a lot of just like businesses just like doing, like some people are starting to do like freelance and things like that, like stuff like that. So if like there's any writers who are doing that, or like stuff like that, I don't know, but that may be something that's like that to consider too, is like how to support other people, and like what resources we can give people.
Totally. Thanks for doing that. The other thought I have is that this might be a really good time for us to revamp the Right Stuff series, as I mentioned to you guys, because people have time and they have time to think about these things. And obviously, it also saves us the trouble of having to meet up with them and film them. They could just send us a video
Mhm.
they make themselves. So I will put a little bit of time into that in the next couple of days, and send you guys some thoughts about how to get started. I already kind of, I guess, sent some thoughts. If y'all can take a look at that and reply all. Mostly, I'd kind of like to revamp the questions a little bit. I mean, it feels a little bit dated to me.
Mhm.
Like there should be some kind of question about dealing more directly with what's going on right now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, ultimately, this is the time right now, and like, we can't act like it's not going on.
Totally.
Like,
Exactly.
and we shouldn't, because like, this is a direct. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're kind of recording what happened in Spanish influenza, but like person by person.
No, exactly. And this is those questions were written before the Trump presidency. You know, like these questions are, 6 years old. So they are quite dated in that sense. The idea is originally was for them to be general enough that anybody could answer whichever ones they want and provide a good snapshot of the person. And that will be the case, I think, regardless, but we could still ask more specific questions. So if you want to add a question or two that you think we should potentially include, that would be helpful. And if there's anything in there that you think we should remove also, that would be helpful too. And then probably what I'll do is, it looks like we lost Chandler there.
Oh no.
It looks like her screen had frozen. But yeah, I think my best thought right now is to have a document with like a spreadsheet with everybody's name and email, and we can it'll be a pretty big document. So what we'll do is we'll assign like 5 or 10 authors to each of you at a time, and then you can reach out to them with basically the standard email, which I'll send to you, and then you can just kind of stay on them and make like see if they're interested. Obviously not, you don't need to keep bugging them if they're not, but just to get everything in a timely fashion, and then you can go into Litscene and build that post and draft it for me to edit it. And then we can start posting those again. I think that would be a great way to reinforce the community that is still here, and furthermore, what might be super cool is during this pandemic, we might, in addition to the interview and the live reading, in the reading, maybe we set up a little Zoom with that author who we're featuring, and anybody can just like dial in, asking questions, or maybe even the reading is live.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, maybe the reading is live, and then there's a question session after. Because when I set up the reading,
and then there's a way that they could be supported too if they need.
Totally. And it's easy to record. Like I'm recording this call right now, in case we wanted. Like I could send it to Katie because she couldn't make it. It just automatically records to my hard drive. So if we wanted to actually just have the reading be live, we could still have this, and we could embed it into their interview afterward.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of neat.
This actually might be cool.
Yeah, I know.
Like honestly, I'm like super happy that this is here because it gives me something like creative and fun to do.
Exactly.
Sorry.
I think we all need that, It's like part of me is really excited to have this extra time and space, even though I am anxious and there's so much uncertainty. It's I'm hoping I can make the best of it. Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's gonna I like it.
Awesome.
Sorry. I don't know.
Well, there's a bunch of people who there were like 15 to 20 people who were in limbo when we stopped the series because of my car accident, and I left town and just couldn't meet up with people anymore, and I didn't have the bandwidth to post them. So there's a list of people who had kind of answered the questions a few years ago and who we never met up with, and we didn't actually post the interview. And there's also a pre-existing document that has a bunch of people that we haven't reached out to yet. So I think what I'll do is go through that and make sure it's up to date, and send it to you guys and share it with you, and then you can add to it. And also, yeah, we'll assign. I'll send you the templates, the email template, and all that stuff. The thing is, though, we want to revise the questions first, so before we start reaching out to people. So that's maybe the first task, is to revisit those questions I sent and see if they're new ones or if they're ones we should get rid of. And then once we have that kind of finalized, we can start reaching out to people.
Have we interviewed Steinberg yet?
No, we haven't.
Oh
We
She's
my
haven't.
stuck in
God.
northern Minnesota, so I'm gonna interview her.
Perfect.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. And she and I have been emailing a little bit because we hosted her class at the Bindery a couple weeks ago, for their like word night or whatever it's called.
I was there. It was
Oh, you
really
were?
good.
Nice. That's
It was
awesome.
nice.
I was
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, we were supposed to host them again next week, but obviously.
Chandler's saying that she can't connect. Like it's not launching the meeting on Zoom.
Oh, that's weird.
So I don't know.
You could tell her that
Maybe I'll FaceTime her in.
do it.
Hold on, wait.
Do it. Yeah, I'm not sure. It doesn't show me. Is there an easy way to see how long we've gone?
I think in the top corner there's like a timer. We've been going for 24 minutes.
Oh, tight.
Hey, I'm gonna FaceTime you in.
Nice.
Oh my god.
You're fine. We can just continue like this. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. Chandler, we were just talking about the right stuff. We had some good ideas about revamping that, and maybe having either having the reading portion be live or having a Q&A with people on Zoom. You know, it could just be like 40 minutes with so-and-so or whatever, you know.
I'm like,
Oh wow.
Yes.
I swear, if like the internet goes down during the whole thing,
Totally. I think that's a real concern.
Yeah, it
it
is.
actually is. It's it'd be terrible. My whole life has been like Zoom lately. Everything I'm doing, classes, this, anything.
Did you see in Europe that they asked Netflix to scale back their broadband to standard definition because everybody's on Zoom and they didn't want to crash the internet?
Damn.
Oh
Oh
wow.
my god.
So Netflix has slowed down their streaming speeds in Europe so that the internet doesn't crash.
We're probably gonna do that here
Oh
too.
wow.
Mhm.
I would expect it to happen soon.
And honestly, our infrastructure for the web is not great here. Like we have really slow internet. In New York.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. You do.
Uh-huh.
So, so in terms of who we want to interview, are we just gonna jot down some authors that we think would be willing to?
Yeah, so I was saying that we have a document already that has a list of people. I'll share it with you and you can add to it. I got to make sure it's up to date first. And it's going to be a lot of people. So we'll just kind of assign people. I mean, if there's folks that you know that you want to reach out to, maybe you can like highlight them a certain color, you know, or initial them. I'll make the document editable so that we can all tweak it to where it makes sense. I also have a template to reach out to people with, so I'll share that as well. The other the first thing though is to finalize the questions. So Chandler, when you have a chance, go back to that email I sent with the list of questions and see if oh, sorry, I just got a pop-up from Zoom saying they've removed the 40-minute time limit on our group meeting. Yay, love it.
Do you think Zoom's
Nice.
doing that now? Just like letting people have unlimited?
I think they might be.
Yeah,
Well, then that solves a lot of problems for our.
it does. Because, for instance, I mean, if we move forward with our show on May 4th, like I was going to just sign up for Pro,
Yeah.
you know, because
Mhm.
the show would presumably be more than 40 minutes. So we need to figure that out separately. But yeah, so Chandler, I was just saying that we want to update the questions. So take a
Cool.
look if there are new things that you think should be added. Let us know. Reply all. And if there are questions you think should be removed, that's legit also.
Okay, cool.
Oh, who's that?
This is Hercules.
Hercules.
Aw.
Hercules. Hercules.
Sorry.
Nice. Yeah, so I feel like those are some good things to do. We can get started on the right stuff and really actually put time into that right now. First, we should, so I'll send all of those docs once I update them. If you guys would go to the questions and send us all your thoughts on those.
Mhm.
And then a social post asking people to send us their live readings and performances that we're listing them. They can also still load them in. That link still works. And yeah, it's a good amount of stuff to do right now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and resources also, of course.
Do you want to send? Well, no.
I'm putting together a newsletter too, eventually, just checking in. I mean, my inbox has been flooded with update us and COVID-19. You know, it's like, okay, I'm gonna just kind of lay out what we're doing, you know, and basically going over all of this, that we're revamping the right stuff. It'll be an open call for people to reach out. And as people reach out to say they're interested, I'll just add them to that spreadsheet and we can start reaching out to them.
Mhm.
Yeah. You guys got any big weekend plans?
Other
Sorry.
than being inside,
Yeah.
no.
That's what I'm doing too.
I really get to stay home with my little brothers.
Uh,
I mean, it's
love-
great to be back home,
yeah,
but it gets a little maddening.
totally.
But I got 3 of them, so
How old are they?
one's a junior in high school, the other one's 8th grader, and the littlest one is in 5th grade.
Oh,
So
bless
they're
them.
pretty spaced out.
Yeah. I'm pretty spaced out too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my mom, I think, is in Orange County with my grandparents right now. And a few days ago, my mom was just like really downplaying the situation and was just like, it's another strain of the flu and we'll get a vaccine and yada, yada, yada. And this is someone who was an RN. Yeah, I imagine they're just like all watching Fox News or something like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No.
It'd be entertaining if it weren't so frightening.
Yeah, right?
It would, yeah, and like if we weren't a community that's directly going to be affected.
Totally.
I don't know. I think like they said that this could go on for like 18 months.
I honestly think, I talked to Kristen at Booksmith today, and I think gatherings are going to be forbidden through the end of the calendar year at least, honestly. That's my best guess based on what I've been reading. Experts are saying that this is obviously, we're far from hitting our peak. Like, things are just getting started here.
Yeah.
Once it peaks and starts to be curtailed, when it gets warmer, whenever the fuck that happens here, it's gonna slow down, but then it's gonna break out again in the winter, just like the flu does. And I've also seen studies that show that, I mean, this shelter in place could be in effect through the rest of the year, potentially with like 2 months shelter in place, a month normal,
Wow.
repeat. I mean, this really might be how things are for a while. In fact, this is how things should be based on studies in order to actually contain this thing, if we don't want like 15% of people 70 or older to like die. So,
Yeah.
and people who are compromised.
Well, the thing is they're saying it's it's not just people who are older or immunocompromised.
No, totally. No, there's a lot of younger folks also who are getting sick and who are dying also. But the studies are showing that there's a higher percentage of folks who are older right now who are dying. I mean, lots of young folks are getting sick too, but obviously more older folks are dying.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, I'm trying to like prepare for the worst. However, I can imagine that this might actually last for quite a long time. So I'm thinking about Quiet Lightning in those terms also. I don't think it's just our May show that's not going to be live. In short, like, I think July is going to be canceled in the same way, and probably September also. We'll see. I mean, maybe things are better for a
September
minute.
might be okay because it's going to be warm then.
Totally. It's just a matter of, there's still going to be sick people, and I don't think that the city and the state and whatever the hell the federal is doing, that they're going to say, okay, it's safe to just go about your business like it was before. I think it's going to be like, okay, gatherings of 20 or okay, it's going to be like gradual. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not counting on doing those shows. Like, I'm not looking for a venue, obviously. Even though, for what it's worth, we are booking events in July at Booksmith, and I think I'm just going to have to end up postponing them. But I don't know what else to do right now. So we're just booking stuff as we normally would.
Fuck.
Yeah. So maybe things will be better than the worst case, scenario. But kind of trying to brace for both.
Yeah.
To prepare for both situations.
I mean, like, the cool thing about it is, like, this is very easily and has already been transferred online. So at least that's the thing. It's like, that will survive. But I have no idea what our society is going to look like by the end of this. Like, we're going to be completely changed.
Totally.
Yeah.
So.
Totally. I do think a lot of good will come out of it. I think that it reinforces that we're all in this together, just generally, not just this pandemic, but like what we all do affects everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's something that has been largely forgotten on the larger scale of things, I think, for the average person.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think reinforcing that and trying to provide a space in the meanwhile that people can connect is important. And yeah, I appreciate all you guys helping out with this. Hopefully we can be a little bit helpful to everybody.
Yeah.
So what's the first order of business?
I would say to put together a post for letting people know that we're still posting virtual events, and just more so like, hey, what are you guys doing virtually? We really want to know, because we want to join in, and we're also still listing stuff. So send them our way, comment here. I think that's big. I think we could also put one together for resources. Just say, hey, we're doing these in our stories. That would be great also. I will go ahead and round up all the right stuff. But meanwhile, the other first thing is for you guys to look at the questions and to add new ones or say, I don't like this question, kind of thing. Once we finalize that, we can go ahead and start reaching out to people and asking them to participate. And once people start sending us in those things, we can start putting together a schedule of conversations with these people and posting their interviews and stuff. And that will require some work from all of us. So, yeah.
Sounds like a plan, Stan.
Yeah. Should we all take a deep breath together and then go our separate ways?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chandler, I'll talk to you after this to make a post.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, cool.
It's going to be okay, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right, thanks.
Yeah. Talk to y'all soon. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.